sino que alababan esa situación y la permitían. Bueno, ahora todos son un poquito más ricos, pero a costa del Valencia. Que la gestión de Soler, con o sin Cañizares y con o sin crítica, ha sido siempre la misma, que muy nefasta para la entidad, ¿no?
Not want to mince his words, not at all. We're keeping our eyes on the problems at Valencia closely because it's such a great and big club and they are in dire straits. New chief exec in place, you told us about that last week. And the public have been briefed to expect a totally different philosophy from the club in the forthcoming few years.
Mid-table and not much more than that. Maybe UEFA Cup, that's it. That's what Valencia's going to be.
That's a massive sea change for that club.
But it's about 700, some say 700 million euros in debt. It could be 450 million. The fact is they cannot sell the land that will sort out that debt. They have to sell players, and that's what they're saying off the record. They're just going to have to sell players, no other alternative. And in the meantime, there is so much tension. Morientes complaining publicly about the situation. You've got Fernando Gomez, the director of football, blaming in a public note, in a public communique, blaming the players for what's happening, saying they're just basically not at the races. They're not working hard for the team. And in the middle of all that, Unai Emery, lovely bloke, but just completely beaten by this situation, and a team that seems divided, and obviously, as we said about 2 months ago, worrying about what's happening to them because they're not getting paid.
Will the public swallow that, the Valencia public? Because they have high expectations at the worst of times. These are the worst of times. You just can't see them going for it.
It's the worst club for this to happen because of those expectations.
Yeah. Culturally, they won't accept that.
But I think everybody's realised now, after Vicente Soriano has been still the chairman, but taking of any responsibility whatsoever, and after Fernando Gomez and Gomez, the new chief executive, have come in, they've explained it perfectly, and he's like, right, okay, it's that bad. So they're kind of coming round to the idea, fans as well.
Maybe there is one positive, and that is if they don't move from the Mestalla, we don't get another one of those Meccano-esque football stadiums, and we keep the great Mestalla, which is what we want.
It's already half built, and it's so sad to see it in a key part of the city as well. So
sad situation. We wish them the best, of course, and we will keep in touch with any changes there. Time for our weekly quiz. The prize, this signed Cesc Fabregas boot. There's the signature. Could be yours, and all you have to do is answer a very simple question. We want to know what Cesc Fabregas' full name is. Okay? Now, Guillaume, you can read out the three options because you'll pronounce it far more beautifully than I can.
Okay. A is Francesc Fabregas López. B will be Francesc Fabregas Castillo, and C, Francesc Fabregas Soler.
So is it A, B, or C? If you want to enter, go to skysports.com/revista, follow the link to competitions and submit your answer, name and address. The competition terms and conditions listed there for you. The prize, as always, supplied by icons.com, the home of signed football memorabilia. Now, last week's question was Lionel Messi scored his Maradona-esque goal in Barcelona's 2007 Copa del Rey semi-final first leg against Getafe. How could you forget it? What we wanted to know, though, was what was the aggregate score over both legs of the tie? Wonderful moment, wasn't it? The correct answer was B, 6-5, and the winner of the Lionel Messi signed shirt, cracking prize that, I wanted that, is Ben Nicholson of Martley in Worcestershire. My neck of the woods, I'll drop it into myself if I get 5 minutes. Well done to you. It's on the way to you. WAPA still to come. Also in part 3, we hear from Liverpool's Spanish international Albert Riera. Some interesting stuff from him. So make sure you join us after this short ad break. No win in 7 now for Getafe. Next we see how they slip to 17th and within just 2 points of that dreaded drop. And it's just 1 win in 18 for Espanyol now. They shared a 6-goal draw with Mallorca at the weekend. We'll show you that after this short break. Welcome back. Now, Real fans don't need reminding that Madrid have failed to make it past the last 16 stage of the Champions League for a 5th consecutive year, having been comprehensively outplayed at Liverpool last week. On the pitch in red last Tuesday was Spanish international Albert Riera, formerly, of course, of Espanyol and Mallorca.
You know, in this kind of matches, you never say that one is favourite and the other one is not favourite. A lot of people thought that we were dead and they were the best in the world, because in the last 10 matches they won, I think, 8 or 9, and they play really well as well. And we could see that Liverpool made a really good match, intelligent match, and beat them. Then in these kind of matches, they are not a favorite.
Are there differences that you found between both leagues?
I don't like to say that Spanish league or English league is better than the other one. I always say the same, very different. The two best leagues in the world, but very different. The Spanish players, in general, we are not as aggressive as English players. You need to be more ready physically, and in Spain you don't need to be. Well, you need to be, of course, ready physically, but not as high level as in England.
A couple of things from La Liga. You look at the bottom of the table, and there it lies, poor Espanyol. I keep saying that we're going to get out of there, but are we?
They have a lot of quality players. Then you ask, where is the problem? Because you don't know exactly where is the problem. Then the only thing you can think is that is in their mind. They have to change their mind. They have to be confident in themselves and try to do their best. But it won't be really easy this year.
You look at the top of the table, and there is Barcelona, who's gone through a little bit of a crisis. But are you impressed or what about what Barcelona are doing this season? Is extraordinary.
Yeah. Barcelona is playing unbelievable this year, and playing really well football, unbelievable football, and scoring a lot of goals. I think people expect a lot now about Barcelona. They expect that every match they will win 4-0 or 5-0 and playing really well. And 1 year is very long, and it's too difficult to have the same level. But it's really unbelievable what Barcelona is doing in this moment. Then nothing to say about this, and this is the team that I don't want to see in Champions League for us, against us.
You'd take him back at Espanyol, wouldn't you? Looking at that league table, you would.
Oh yes, a Liverpool player at Espanyol, yes, definitely.
Not all players can make the transition. He seems to have done it with ease.
It was wonderful. Well, wonderful. It was sad to see actually that after 25 minutes of his first game in the Premier League against Manchester United, he just couldn't run anymore. He had to change. His lifestyle is very homely. He stays home, just doesn't go out at all, and he's just focusing on the job in hand.
Doesn't want Barca. Who does? The free draw gets ever closer Champions League-wise. These are the 8 teams remaining. Villarreal, Barca, La Liga's contingents. Barca, Man United, joint favourites 5-2. Liverpool 6-1. Villarreal 25-1. The draw gets ever closer. Can't wait to see who meets who. Back to La Liga then, and the 4 games that are left from week 27. Back to that map as well. We start in Barcelona.
While some Espanyol fans remain defiantly optimistic that they can overhaul a 6-point deficit and avoid the drop, most supporters could be forgiven for fearing the worst when in the 13th minute Temudo's goal against Mallorca was disallowed for offside. Even though it was a decision that referee Aïda Gamez got wrong, because the legendary Espanyol marksman had timed his run perfectly. Then 6 minutes before the break, Mallorca were able to go in front, courtesy of a sweetly struck free kick from Juan Arango. But Espanyol equalised courtesy of a good move, in which Sergio Sanchez and Temudo set up the scorer Callejon to get his first league goal for the strugglers. But they found themselves unable to clear Aritz Adjurith's shot, and Kleber got his second goal for the Islanders since joining on loan from Atletico Madrid. Espanyol were hardly helping themselves, especially when Moises was dismissed for the second time this year after he raised his elbow on Adjurith. It's a decision he could have few complaints about. And then with 18 minutes remaining, it looked like Mallorca had secured all of the points when Marti picked out the scorer, Gerardo. He's also on loan from Atletico, and it's his 6th, which is his best ever haul of goals in a season. But something stirred among Pochettino's team And Ivan de la Peña showed how nimble his footwork can be to make it 3-2 just a minute later. And they condemned Mallorca to their third straight draw when de la Peña's free kick resulted in clever connection.